Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpacha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda Ben Shomer, and today we're going to be talking about the mikvah. A lot of Christians will know what the mikvah is if I say baptism, and there's a big misunderstanding in Christianity regarding a baptism, because baptisms are hooked to the salvation experience, and once somebody goes down to the altar and accepts Jesus Christ into their heart, then later on they schedule a time to where they have a baptism, whether it's in the baptismal pool at the church or down by a riverside or what have you, and that's it. They take a mikvah and that's it. They just take one baptism in their whole life and that's it. Where in Judaism, baptisms, mikvahs are used for many things and various things, and the Talmud has some very specific detailed laws and regulations and traditions regarding the mikvah. I don't necessarily agree with them all, because the Talmud was written for Jewish communities, thriving Jewish communities, and many of us and many of you who are watching me do not have the luxury of living in a Jewish community where you can go and take a mikvah, because in Jewish communities, one of the first things that are built, even before a synagogue is built, is a mikvah pool, a mikvah house, where there's one for men and one for women, to where they can go whenever they need to and take a mikvah. Because a mikvah, you are to be some traditions say that you're to be totally naked. It's an intimate time between you and God. Except for during conversion. It's when somebody converts and has a mikvah because of a conversion, usually they wear like a white robe or wear something that represents purity, because everybody else has to witness your mikvah, and since nudity is immodest and it's not proper for others to see another human being naked, they wear usually a white robe or some sort of white garments. But let me tell you different reasons for a mikvah. For instance, according to the Torah, when a woman has their monthly menstrual cycle, after the bleeding stops, they're to take a mikvah, representing that they're clean, that they're cleansed, and it signals to their husband that the wife is ready to resume marital relations, sexual activity. For a man, whenever he has a nocturnal emission, he, or even after being intimate with his wife, he is required to go and take a mikvah. When after somebody has been sick, or after somebody's healed from a disease or from cuts and bruises, etc., they're to take a mikvah. Not only people take mikvahs, but inanimate objects are mikvahed. According to the Torah, like if you had a piece of leather or a garment that had mold or had some sort of mildew on it, and you washed it and you cleansed it, and you set it away for 7 days, and if the tza'aretz, the mold or mildew, did not return, you go and you mikvah that garment, representing that garment has been cleansed from the tza'aretz, from the leprosy, from the mildew. And also, it is traditional whenever there is new cookware or new clothes or anything new that somebody acquires, that it is given a mikvah. Why? Because it's consecrated to the service of the Lord. It means that person is going to wear those garments or to use those articles, whether they be dishes or what have you, anything that's allowable or that's able to be submersed, is consecrated and dedicated to Adonai in this way. So it's not only people that are mikvahed, but objects as well. So we run into a problem for us who do not live in a Jewish community, because the requirement of a mikvah is that it has to be mayim chaim, which is a Hebrew phrase meaning living waters. The waters that you immerse yourself in needs to be flowing. It needs to be able to sustain life. So that's why rivers and streams are preferable to a mikvah pool or to a baptismal pool, because you know that it's living waters. And so there's some spiritual significance to this. And even in the Jewish women who live in Russia and in other places of exile, they were so dedicated to the laws of purity and cleansing themselves after their menstrual cycle that they would break holes in the ice to submerge themselves and to obey the Torah and to take a mikvah. Now men, it is a lot of Orthodox Jewish men prior to Shabbat, every every Sabbath morning or even Friday night, they'll go and take a mikvah to be ready and prepare themselves physically and spiritually for for Shabbat. Now, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between a mikvah and a bath? It just sounds like you're taking a bath. Well, there's a difference, because the mikvah is ritualistic, and it's something that's totally separate. It represents, it's a physical way of symbolically representing a spiritual truth, a spiritual manifestation, that of being cleansed, of being purified, of being dedicated, whereas, there's no really spiritual significance to take a bath. Matter of fact, before men and women take a mikvah, they will take a bath prior. They're in the Orthodox Judaism, there's very detailed laws about how you trim your nails and how you make sure that you're clean before you even take a mikvah. So a bath and a mikvah are two totally different things. But back to those of us who do not have the luxury of living in a Jewish community, that do not live close to a water or stream, but if you do, you live close to a river or a stream that's private and secluded, great, you have a mikvah in nature all your own. But for those who do not, this is what I suggest, and I know I'm going to get railed by the Orthodox, and I know I'm going to get railed by those who, strictly adhere to the Talmud, but look, when you're in exile and you don't have these luxuries, and you can't necessarily fulfill all these Talmudic requirements, God knows the intentions and purity of your heart, and you do what you can where you're at, and it will be acceptable. So this is what I suggest, that if you have a bathtub, that you fill the bathtub up with water, and once you're ready to take the mikvah, keep the water running and unstop the plug so that it is flowing and draining at the same time to symbolize the mayim chaim, the living waters, and submerge yourself in it. And it's traditional to say a particular blessing, and to submerge yourself not once but 3 times, wholly, your whole body. And so, if you can do that, that's great. If not, if you don't have a bath, or don't have access to water like that, and the only thing you have is a shower, then you simply can't take a mikvah, but you could just say, Lord, it is the intention of my heart to take a mikvah. I am not in the place, or I do not have the facilities to be able to take a mikvah. So being separate from a bath or a shower, may this shower that I'm taking right now be in your eyes as if I am taking a mikvah, because I am rededicating myself to you. And you do that until you're able to take a real mikvah, until you're able to be in a place where you can go to a mikvah pool or go to a body of water. And that is what I suggest to you, because in those types of situations and in cases when you can't fulfill the scriptural or Talmudic requirements, that you do what you can with what you have to the best of your ability, out of the sincerity of your heart. So I just want to talk to you today a little bit about mikvahs and the reasons why we take mikvahs, and why they're so important in Judaism, and how they differ from the Christian baptism. So I hope that this has been insightful, and possibly I might do a part 2 about this, because there's a lot more that could be said, but I'm running out of time here, so for now, I'll just leave it at this. So we'll talk to you later. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.